Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tatajayam Udiret Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Nishtiki. Hare Krishna. Today we continuing Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2nd, Chapter 3rd, Pure Devotional Service, Shloka Kramanka 16 and 17. Vyāsaki cha Bhagavan
Vyāsaki च भगवान्
Vasudeva Parayana
वासुदेव परायणः
Urugaya Guna Udara
उरुगाय गुण उदाराः
Satam Syuhu Hi Samagame
सतां स्युः समागमे
Ayuharati Vaipunsam
आयुः हरति वै पुंसाम्
Udyan Astam Chayan Asau
उद्यन् अस्तं च यन् असौ
Tatrute Yakshananita
तस्य ऋते यत्क्षणः नीतः
Uttama Shloka Vartaya
उत्तमश्लोकवार्तया
Vyāsaki cha Bhagavana
वैयासखी च भगवान्
Vasudeva Parayana
वासुदेव परायणः
Urugaya Guna Udara
उरुगाय गुण उदाराः
Satam Syuhu Hi Samagame
सतां स्युः समागमे
Ayuharati Vaipunsam
आयुः हरति वै पुंसाम्
Udyan Ashtam cha Yan Asu
उद्यम अंस्तं च यन् असौ
Tasrute Yakshananita
तस्य ऋते यत्क्षणनीतः
Uttama Shloka Vartaya
उत्तमश्लोकवार्तया
Vyāsaki cha Bhagavana Vasudeva Parayana Urugaya Guna Udara Satam Syuhi Samagame Ayuharati Vaipunsam Udyan Astam cha Yat Asau Tasya Ruta Yat Kshana Nita Uttama Shloka Vartaya. Hare Krishna.
वैयासखी च भगवान् वासुदेव परायणः उरुगाय गुण उदाराः सतां स्युः समागमे आयुः हरति वै पुंसाम् उदयन अस्तं च यन्नसौ तस्य ऋते यत्क्षणः नीत उत्तमश्लोकवार्तया
Translation and purport by the Srila Prabhupada. Śukadeva Gosvāmī, the son of Vyāsadeva, was also full in transcendental knowledge and was a great devotee of the Lord, son of Vasudeva. So there must have been discussion of Lord Krishna, who is glorified by great philosophers and in the company of great devotees. Do the trees not live? Do the bellows of the blacksmith not breathe all around us? एक मिनट आयु हरति sorry, both by rising and by setting the sun decreases the duration of life of everyone except one who utilizes the time by discussing topics of the all good personality of Godhead. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. The word Satām is very important in this verse. Satām means the pure devotees who have no other desire than to serve the Lord. Only in the association of such devotees are the transcendental glories of Lord Krishna properly discussed. It is said by the Lord that his topics are all full of spiritual significance. And once one properly hears about him in the association of the Satam, certainly one senses the great potency and so automatically attains to the devotional stage of life. As already described, Maharaj Parīkṣit was a great devotee of the Lord from his very birth, and so was Śukadeva Gosvāmī. Both of them were on the same level. Although it appeared that Maharaj Parīkṣit was a great king accustomed to royal facilities, whereas Śukadeva Goswami was a typical renouncer of the world, so much so that he did not even put a cloth on his body. Superficially, Maharaj Parikshit and Śukadeva Goswami might seem to be opposites, but basically they were both unalloyed pure devotees of the Lord. When such devotees are assembled together, there can be no topics save discussion of the glories of the Lord or Bhakti Yoga and the Bhagavad Gita also, where there were talks between the Lord and his devotee Arjuna. There could not be any topic other than Bhakti Yoga. However, the mundane scholars may speculate on it in their own ways. The use of the word cho after Vyāsadeva suggests, according to Srila Goswami, that both Sukadeva Goswami and Maharaj Parikshit were of the same category, settled long before, although one was playing the part of the master and the other the disciple. Since Lord Krishna is the center of the topic, the word Va- Vasudeva Parayana or devotees of the Vasudeva suggested devotee of Lord Krishna, the common aim, although there were many others who assembled at the place where Maharaj Parikshit was fasting. The natural conclusion is that there was no topic other than the glorification of Lord Krishna because the principal speaker was Shukadeva Goswami and the chief audience was Maharaj Parikshit. So Srimad Bhagavatam, as it was spoken and heard by two principal devotees of the Lord, is only for the glorification of the Supreme Lord, the personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. This verse indirectly confirms the greater importance of utilizing the human form of life to realize our lost relationship with the Supreme Lord by acceleration of devotional service, time and tide wait for no man. So the time indicated by the sunrise and the sunset will be uselessly wasted if such time is not properly utilized for realizing identification of spiritual values. Even a fraction of the duration of life wasted cannot be compensated by any amount of gold. Human life is simply awarded to a living entity Jiva so that he can realize his spiritual identity and his permanent source of happiness. A living being, especially the human being, is seeking happiness because happiness is the natural situation of the living entity. But he is vainly speaking happiness in the material atmosphere. A living being is constitutionally a spiritual spark of the complete whole, and his happiness can be perfectly pursued in spiritual activity. The Lord is the complete spirit whole, and his name, form, quality, pastime, entourage, and personality are all identical with him. Once a person comes into contact with any one of the above mentioned energies of the Lord through the proper channel of devotional service, the door to perfection is immediately opened. In the Bhagavad Gita 2.40, the Lord has explained such contact in the following words: endeavors in devotional service are never baffled, nor is there failure. A slight beginning of such activities is sufficient even to deliver a person from the great ocean of material fears. As a highly potent drug injected intravenously acts at once on the whole body, the transcendental topics of the Lord injected through the ear of the pure devotee of the Lord can act very efficiently. Oral realization of the transcendental messages implies total realization just as fructification of one part of a tree implies fructification of all other parts. This realization for a moment in the association of pure duty, like Shukdev Goswami, prepares one's complete life for eternity. And thus the sun fails to rob the pure duty of his duration of life. Inasmuch as he is constantly busy in the devotional service of the Lord, purifying his existence. Death is a symptom of the material infection of eternal living being. Only due to material infection is the eternal living entity subjected to the law of birth, death, old age, and disease. The materialistic way of pious activities like charity is recommended in the Smriti Shastras as quoted by Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, money given in charity to a suitable person is guaranteed bank balance in the next life. Such charity is recommended to be given to a Brahmana. If the money is given to in charity to a non-Brahmana without Brahminical qualification, the money is returned in the next life in the same proportion. If it is given in charity to a half educated Brahmana, even then the money is returned double. If the money is given in charity to a learned and fully qualified Brahmana, the money is returned to 100 and 1,000 times. And if the money is given to a Veda Parag who has actually realized the path of Vedas, it is returned by unlimited multiplication. The ultimate end of Vedic knowledge is realization of the personality of Godhead. Lord Krishna is as stated in the Bhagavad Gita, Vedaicha sarve aham eva vedya. There is a guarantee of monies being returned in given in charity, regardless of the proportion. Similarly, a moment passed in the association of a pure duty by hearing and chanting the transcendental message of the Lord is a perfect guarantee for eternal life. For returning home, back to Godhead, Madham Gatva Punah Jalma na Vidyate. In the in other words, a devotee of the Lord is guaranteed eternal life. A devotee is old age or disease in the present life is but an impetus to such guaranteed eternal life. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Ena Tasmai Sri Gurave Nama Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Ena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vande Am Sri Guru Sri Tapadakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavancha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunathan Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitancha Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschata Deshattarine Vancha Kalpatarubhecha Kripa Sindhubhe Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Nama Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Today we continuing Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2nd, Chapter 3rd, Pure Devotional Service, Shloka Kramanka 16 and 17. Here, uh, the glorification of Śukadeva Gosvāmī, doing the son of Vasudeva, who is Vyāsadeva, and he is full in transcendental knowledge and great devotee of uh, the Lord Sri Krishna. The two important aspects they are describing about uh, Śukadeva Gosvāmī. And in next shloka, they're describing about the uh, person who do not take shelter of the supreme personality of Godhead. His ayu sun decreases the duration of life every one, and who utilizes his time by discussing the topics or uh, doing kirtana or chanting of the Godhead personality. His time is not uh, decreases that utilize to devotional service, and he is guaranteed. He is given guarantee to enter in the uh, uh, back home, back to Godhead kingdom. Means Krishna's Paramount, Param Krishna's abode. He able to enter. That described in shlokas. Prabhuji will tell us this nicely. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So the focus is on the importance of hearing glories of Krishna in the company of pure devotees, that is Satām, which actually is here exemplified by Śukadeva Gosvāmī ji and Parīkṣit Maharaj, both of whom were really great devotees despite the external differences. So Śukadeva Gosvāmī and Parīkṣit Maharaj, they engage exclusively in glorifying Krishna because they are pure devotees. And pure devotees always want to be in association with Krishna. So either in the form of Vigraha, in the form of Guru, in the form of Chaitya Guru, in the form of Krishna Nam, or in the form of Krishna Katha. And that is where we need to understand the significance of Satām. Satām means pure devotees. So that the Satām refers to pure devotees, especially those who have no other desire than to serve the Lord. So they are desireless, nishkama. Like in Chaitanya Charitamrita, we have that shloka, na? Krishna Bhakta Nishkama sh- Sadaiva Shantaha Bhukti Mukti Sakale Ashantaha. And that is why the devotees are peaceful. So only in the association of such pure, peaceful devotees, the transcendental glories of Krishna can actually be properly discussed and realized. So once this is established, the question comes, how is this realized? It is through hearing, Shravanam. So we need to now understand the power of hearing in the association of Satām. So topics of Krishna, they carry spiritual potency. And in association of Satām, they elevate the listener to bhakti. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he emphasized the faithful hearing as the most effective method in Kali Yuga. He advised that in this age, one need not change the external situation, but simply give up speculative reasoning and hear from realized souls, wherein the glories of Krishna are central to the discussions. So here also we see that Śukadeva Gosvāmī ji was a renunciate and Maharaj Parīkṣit was an emperor. Now, practically speaking, they represent different social orders, but both of them are united, are same in terms of their equally exalted devotion to Krishna. And Srimad Bhagavatam arises from their discourse. And so it contains only glorification of Krishna. And that is where we learn the importance of spiritual master and devotee association. By associating with and serving pure devotees, we can overcome neglect of spiritual life. We can overcome fear of spiritual identity. And we can defeat the voidistic concept of impersonalism. This is something which Krishna also confirms in Bhagavad Gita 13.35, wherein Krishna says very clearly that a person who understands the body, soul, and super soul attains the supreme goal. Kshetra kshetrajnayoh evam antaram dhyana chakshusha bhuta prakritim moksham cha ye vidyuhu antihi te param. So there are so much of importance of hearing. And it's not that this is mentioned only here. At many places it is mentioned. Even Arjuna accepts this fact very clearly when he tells Krishna that Vistarena Atmana Yogam Vibhutim Cha Janardan Bhuya Katha Trupti Shrunvato Nasti Me Amrutam. The more I hear, the more I desire to taste the nectar of your words. And why? Because at that time, Krishna was telling about bhakti. And even further, Arjuna again gives a confirmation in 36 shloka of 11th chapter. Arjuna Vacham Sthane Rishikesh Tau Prakritya Jagat Prahushya Anurajyate Cha Rakshansi Bhitani Disho Dravanti Sarve Namasyanti Cha Siddha Sangha. Hearing Krishna's glories brings joy. Even demons fear such transcendental topics. Because where Krishna exists, there demons cannot come at all. And further, Krishna also then reiterates in 13th chapter 26 shloka, Anne tvem ajanantah shrutvanebhya upasate te api cha atihi antya eva mrityu shruti parayanaha. Even those unaware of spiritual truths can transcend birth and death by hearing from others. And same chapter 6, 7 shloka, 24 elements were listed. Understanding them via Guru leads to liberation. And then we have seen in 4.9 or say 2.22 that understanding of Krishna's birth and activities leads to liberation because the soul changes bodies like garments. So, those who understand the distinction between body, the owner of body, the super soul, process of liberation, they attain the supreme goal. And that is why Shravanam in association of devotees is very, very important. It is one of the most important aspects of life. And just like sun diminishes everyone's life, except for one who engages in glorifying the Krishna. Uttama Shloka Vartaya. Now, here it is mentioned that the sun is diminishing the life every day. Ayuhu Harti. Now, practically speaking, the life is fixed. Sun is not saying, okay, now I take this, now I take this, now I take this. No. What this means is whatever is the fixed life, that many hours, that many days, they are getting reduced. And why, sun? Because we generally calculate everything in terms of solar, solar time, solar year. So, if you are not using it properly, it is a wastage. So, if it is a wastage, it means the suitability which we can have for the human form of life is reduced. And so, the allegory out here that sun decreases the duration of life, but not for those who are utilizing the time by discussing topics of Krishna. So, time is life and it has to be used for spiritual realization. Time is non-refundable asset. Even a moment wasted cannot be replaced at all. And human life is rare and valuable. It is meant for realizing our relationship with Krishna. Krishna Katha. So eventually, if you see, it prevents death. One who constantly discusses Krishna's pastimes escapes the decay of time. And such hearing acts like a spiritual, maybe IV drip, reaching and purifying the soul quickly. And that is why we saw Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya 1.2.18 daily service to Bhagavatam cleanses the heart. Or even in Bhagavad Gita 40th shloka of second chapter, where it is mentioned, even slight efforts in bhakti are never lost. And if such efforts they are done in association with pure devotees, then there is more success, which is very, very important to understand. Like if you see Chaitanya Charitamrita, there is one very important verse which comes there. Sadhu Sangha Sarva Shastra Kaya Lava Matra Sadhu Sange Sarva Siddhi Haya. The verdict of all revealed scriptures is that by even a moment's association with a pure devotee, one can attain all success. And same thing will get confirmed in the third canto of Bhagavatam, 25th chapter, 25th shloka, that by such association, one's heart is satisfied, leading to firm faith and devotional service. So while sun makes changes for a materialist, for a devotee, sun cannot rob anything. That is a symptom of material infection. A soul in Krishna consciousness is actually not touched by it. So the devotee lives eternally by transcending the material cycle through hearing. Prabhupada ji gives us profound insights on this topic. Time in Krishna consciousness is profit, everything else is loss. And in the lecture, it is mentioned the example of Brijratan Mohta, who was told that your life's leisure must reflect profit through devotional engagement. Another analogy which Prabhupada generally gives is that of a fish out of water. Now, fish cannot be happy out of water. Similarly, soul can never be happy outside of spiritual life. And that is why this world is called as Dukkhalayam Ashashvatam. So, charity is not what we do, charity is actually devotional hearing. Various returns are guaranteed based on whom one gives charity. Similarly, a moment spent hearing from a pure devotee is eternal spiritual profit. So, the key takeaways for us is that death is not final for a devotee. What is just a temporary dread?
Not hearing your voice.
Death is Hare Krishna. Up. Krishna Katha makes one
Not
immortal.
hearing. Not hearing.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Not hearing.
Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Is everyone also facing the same issue? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, you are audible.
Yeah, thank you very much. So Krishna Katha makes one immortal. Reading
Not
Bhagavad
hearing.
Gita, reading Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam daily defies the sun's splendor. Prajalpa, overindulgence, worldly association, they ruin devotion. So you should always speak and hear about Krishna only. So, so many verses have been quoted in the purport by Srila Prabhupada and even in the lecture. But what is most important is that daily hearing purifies. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. So the sun can steal our life unless we conquer crime through Krishna Katha. Śukadeva Gosvāmī Parīkṣit Maharaj, they're setting the example of how to live in association with devotees, immersed in hearing the glories of Krishna. And the result is liberation, eternal bliss, and a real life. How we'll understand further tomorrow. Thank you very much.